Hello, it's Liz with Stampin' on the Rock. Today I'm going to share a card with you with a little bit of sparkle. Let me just show you the card first and then we'll get started. So this is the card here. I did this one this weekend I did a sparkly card class, and this is one of the cards from that class. So let's get started with that one, okay? So I'm using boho blue as my card base, and it has already been cut. It's 8.5 by 11, and it's been scored already. I don't have my bone folder right here, but we're going to fold this in half. Like I said, it's already been scored. So let me fold this in half. I'm going to press it with my thumb at the moment, and that's our base. And then I have a piece of Night of Navy, and this is 4 by 5.25. This right here, here's our glitz and our glimmer. Okay, if you haven't checked out this page too much in the catalog, but you can also go online and check it out there. But in the catalog, this is on page 127, has all the specialty papers. So number 6 is the Little Dazzle, and the papers are champagne and gold are the colors. Put that aside. So this is the gold piece, and this is cut to 3 by 4. And then I have another little piece here that is the boho blue. This size will change. I don't know that it matters exactly what size this is, because depending on what words you use, you might cut yours a little bit differently. So I'll show you that in a minute though. And then I'm using this ribbon here, but this ribbon is a Stampin' Up! Ribbon, but I did realize that it is a retired ribbon. You might have it in your stash already though. It's navy blue with little gold speckles in there. If you don't, that's okay too. In the catalog we have navy blue ribbon, so you could use that also, or maybe you have something else in your stash, but that's what I'll be using. Let's see, ink colors. I'm just using Night of Navy, 1 ink color for this one. I'll be using a die from Scalloped Contour Dies. I'm just going to be using this one flower die from that. My sentiment will be from Go To Greetings. This is a great one to have on hand, as they are all different size sentiments. There's multiple happy birthdays, multiple thinking of you, multiple thank yous, and then there's a hello, just a note added in, and they're all different sizes and different fonts. So this is a great one to have on hand. And then in the class that I just did, I used the brick and mortar background, so maybe you have that, but again, I realize that that is not current anymore. So I'm going to be using the Twisted Rope 3D embossing folder instead for this. But if you have the brick background, you could use that also, or one of the other embossing folders that we have. Okay, so let's get started with this. So I'm going to use, we're going to do the embossing part first. So that's with this 3D embossing folder. So if this is new to you, the cut and emboss machine, or maybe you have a Big Shot or something else, the cut and emboss machine comes with all the pieces that you need. That you do not need to purchase these extra. When you purchase the cut and emboss machine, all these plates come with it. There's various ways you're going to put these pieces, depending if you're using an embossing folder or if you're using a die, or if you're using a thick folder. Some of the folders are thicker, like this one. There's not a whole lot of bend to it. Others are thin. So depending on what you're using will determine which one of these plates you use. The nice thing is that they are all numbered, okay? So you have a number 1, there's number 2, there's 2 number 3s, and then there's number 4. So the numbers are right on the plates. And then what you can do is, this is a thick embossing folder. So I'm going to go right here on this base plate, and I'm looking, this says using with thin dies. Down here says using with standard embossing folders, that's the thinner ones. This one says using with 3D embossing folders, which that's what I'm using here. So the sandwich, meaning which plates you're going to use, you're using 1, which is 1 right here. And then the embossing folder with the paper will go next, and then plate 4 will go on top. So this is plate 4 here. So I'm going to put that in the machine. I'm taking this piece here, and I'm going to lay that inside, close that up, and I'll lay that on next. And then I'm going to put the 4 plate on top. And then I'm just going to crank that through. So give me just a second here. And we're going to open that up. And there we go. And there's our embossed piece. Okay. And then this one here, I want to use a die with that. And I'm going to use this flower die. Now, this is a thin die, so I'm going to look on here. It says using with thin die. So I want plate 1 and then plate 2. So here's plate 2, okay? And then it has plate 3, my paper and dies, and plate 3. So I'm putting this. I'm going to put one plate 3, lay my paper down, lay my die on top, and then I'll be putting another 3 on top of that. Okay, so if you forget, it's written right on the base plate, which is awesome. And then I'm going to line those up, and I'm going to crank this through. This glittery paper is a little bit thicker, so I tend to go through twice. Just roll it through and then roll it back the other way to make sure that you're getting through. Okay, I'm going to pull this off of here. And then my flower, let me get this out of the way. Okay, and now I'm going to take this and it'll pop, the flower pops right out. Okay, and if you can use this flower for something else, but I'm going to just set it aside because I'm not using it for this card. So I have this leftovers and I'm going to use the negative piece, okay? So sometimes you cut out a design that you want like this and this is what you're planning on using. Don't throw this away because you can use that for another card. So this is what I'll be using is the negative. All right, we're going to get all of our pieces together. So we have our base right now. I have this embossed piece. And then I have this negative one here. I'm going to take this thank you stamp. The stamp pads are foamy, so just tap, tap. Remember, just tap, tap. You don't need to squish it in. You just tap. And I want this piece is going to go underneath here. So I actually just want to stamp on the bottom section of that piece. I'll show you that in a second. We're just tapping. And I'm going to take this and stamp it down here. There we go. And it's actually a little bit longer than what I want. So I stamped that and I don't really want that long there. So I'm going to trim that off. So let's take this. And I'm going to put this in here. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Set that aside. All right, now I'm going to take adhesive and I'm putting it just on this top section. Okay, so it's on that top section, and then this is going to go behind. And I'm sticking that right on there like that. Okay, so it's right on the back. And that's how that's stuck on there. And now I'm going to take some dimensionals. Oh, let's do this first. We're going to take this piece. Let's put this one down. Ooh, got this one super stuck. Let's try this again. Goodness gracious. All right, sorry. All right. Ooh, I am not doing well with this one. All right, guys. Here's the beauty of it, though. If this is a Stampin' Up! Adhesive you have and it's not working well, shoot me a message and I will help you out with it. I think because of the embossing here. So I'm going to switch over to the liquid glue. Because of that embossing, it's kind of getting funky. So let's switch over to liquid glue on this one. There we go. Okay. And we'll take that liquid glue on there. We're going to take that piece and we'll set that down. There we go. Got it. All right. Now I want to take this piece here. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. I'm going to pop those on the corners. And let's get one over here. I'm going to make sure I get there. Okay. All right. So I have my dimensionals. And for those of you who may have seen my pictures with my puppy, puppies love dimensionals. So I'm not sure that's a good thing or not, but if they are near where your puppies can get to them, you might want to watch out because they stick really, really well to puppy paws. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take this And I'm kind of lining up, like the top and the bottom is going to have equal distance. And I'm doing it a little bit over to the left because my thank you piece needs to fit there. All right, so you'll see here how this is like sticking up right here. Not a big deal because I'll show you in just a second. We're going to add the ribbon and it will hold that down. But at the moment, that's flapping. I mean, you can put a dimensional behind it, but you don't need to. So hang on. Let me give you a little ribbon tying lesson here. All right, so here's my ribbon. I'm going to take down maybe a third of the way, and I'm making a loop. Okay. I'm making another loop. So you have about even tails on either side. Okay. Let me show you again. So there's one loop. There's a second loop with, generally speaking, even ties, even tails there. I'm going to take my left one, and now if you're left-handed, I apologize. But anyway, I'm going to take this left side, and I'm going over top the right, and I'm going to bring it through the hole in the center. And get a hold of that. I'm bringing it back through the center and pulling. Okay, now you think, okay, well, that doesn't look great. Hang on. Give yourself a little bit of grace here. And you need to tug a little bit. And you're going to play around with it. But you want to pull gently. But then when you get here, you want to kind of pull quickly. And it will tie it tight. Okay. So you can go back to the video and rewind a little bit if you need to watch that again. But I'm playing around with it until I get a ribbon, a bow that I like. So there we go. That's what I'm going to stick with. All right, I have dots. Here we go. We're going to use these mini glue dots. Okay, there's a roll of them on here, so I'm going to take a mini glue dot. You can see the shiny there. And I'm going to take this where the knot is, and I'm pushing that into the glue dot and pulling it up. One glue dot will hold it. I'm going to take that, we're going to stick it right in here and push that down. And I'm going to grab some scissors here and trim off my ribbon a little bit. Okay, and now that center that was flapping is held down with the ribbon. And there you go. And there's the card for today. I hope you like that. That gives a little bit of glitter, and that's it. That's the end of the card. If you don't like that sticking up like that, you can always, you know, put a little adhesive and tack it down. It's not really a big deal. When you go ahead and slide it into your card, and it takes the time to mailing, it's going to flatten that just a little bit. But there you go, and that's your card for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hit that share button if you think somebody else would also. Any comments are always appreciated. Nice comments are always appreciated. So that's it, and I hope you enjoyed. Talk with you later. Bye-bye.